I'm going to start telling some stories about my childhood and my adulthood growing up, so y'all get a better feel of where the worldly church girl came from. Because I get a lot of questions about how'd you get the name, where the name came from. You know what? Let's start there. All right. So what had happened was I decided a long time ago that I wanted to write a book. I had conversation with friends and I would tell them about my life and I would tell them about different scenarios, different things that happened in my life. And they would be like, dang, you should write a book. And or I would say, I should write a book. Dag nabbit, I decided I was going to write a book. So while I was in the process of getting, my characters together, I was talking to my husband and we was making the bed. And I was like, need a name for my book. Couldn't think of one. And Lord brought it to me. Worldly Church Girl. Shut up. That's it. Worldly Church Girl. That's gonna be the name of my book. So I changed on my social media pages. Not my main Facebook page because that's like family stuff. That's still my name. But as far as I got a Facebook website page, and I made a website, and I made Instagram, Twitter, I made all that. Worldly Church Girl. Do the backlash that I got from that name was dumb. Either it was pure love or it was pure, like, what do you mean you can't be worldly or in church because the church is separate from the world, da 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 da. So I would explain it to them in a separate inbox or in that same box, depending on how they came at me. And I mean came at me. And to be real, it was mostly church folks. Nobody else came for me, just extra church folks. After I told them, one or two things would happen. They would unfollow me or they would follow me. It was just cut and dry, just that simple. There was no, I'm sorry, my bad. Every now and again I might get, oh, I get it, but never anything different than that. So anywho, as I was writing the book, my first draft, it was a snoozer. I didn't like it. It was dumb. It put me to sleep, and I had to go to. And the reason why I know was putting me to sleep because I put it to where it would read back to me, and it was dull. It was dull city. So after I did that, I had to go to a writers conference that following week to get some feedback and also to present my book to some literary agents. I deleted my book. I went to this conference with no book. This was truly walking in faith and not by sight because there was no book to be seen. So I walked up in there and I met with 3 different literary agents and all 3 of them loved my book. That wasn't there. So I went back home, started writing again. And in the process of that, I knew I needed a platform for my book. So I was working on my website, getting that together, and trying to build up my Instagram feeds and Facebook feeds and whatnot. And I started a YouTube channel. It was all right. I mean, I kind of did the same thing like I'm doing right now, telling the stories or whatever, like different things. And I would have cartoons on it to seem different, but it was all right. I did some research and I found out that everybody and their mama has a YouTube page, but not everybody has a podcast. Bet I'll start a podcast. Well, what my podcast gonna be about? And I was like, well, heck, it could be about people who are God-fearing people, who are saved people, who do things that somebody might question as far as crossing the line of being churchy or worldly. And I was like, okay, that's what my podcast will be about. So my first 3 guests, I pulled out some friends. Awesome interviews for them to be like my first set of interviews. And I started just asking people. I saw what they did. I saw their profile and I was just asking them, do you mind if I put you on my podcast? They did it. So my first season was pretty good, considering it was my first season. And I advertised myself. I did my own promos. I did my own everything, my own editing. I did all that. Me, still doing all that. But anyway, so I did all that, and then after that, I um season 2. I'm going into season 3, and my guests are still coming in from all walks of life, and God has really been blessing. Things been blowing up, so it's really been really good. I feel blessed. So um, that's how World Church Girl came about, the podcast. Oh, the book. Well, funny thing, the podcast kind of took over, and I did start rewriting the book, but it kind of like stopped. I've been podcasting and podcasting and podcasting and podcasting because, like I said, I'm the editor, I'm the producer, I'm the writer, I'm all that through the grace of God. So I don't have time to tickety tack 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 on my book. And now that this pandemic is going on, here's the thing about that. I've actually been busier with that. And I thank God for that. It could be so much worse. So much worse. Yeah. So that's really church girl. I'm not trying to be rebellious. I'm not trying to be that chick that just want to start something or start a controversy or or anything like that. I truly got this name from God, not me. Because there's no way I would have came up with something like that. Not at all. So there you go. Worldly church girl. That's how I got my name.